Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the 31st day of March, right? And I'm still Lauren Michaels Harris, and this is still Bathrobe Moments. Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm so happy to be here. I am bathrobeless today, intentionally. I just needed a break from the robe, y'all. And just wanted to just say here, I'm so excited that the Oracle is here for her monthly installment right around. I saw a full moon a couple nights ago. I don't know if it still is, but she always seems, it just seems to work out that we get her here when she needs to be here. Same thing with all of you. Welcome to the show again. And welcome to season 5, where our theme, as you know, by the song, the theme song is Show Me Your Soul. And I'm going to show you mine. I'm so excited to be here. I tell you all the time, I wouldn't rather be anywhere in the world except maybe Fiji than right here with all of you. Now is a great time to share the broadcast out, invite someone to be a part of what we're doing over here. And it doesn't cost, it doesn't hurt. You won't bleed for long, I promise. So go ahead and hit the share button and invite just one person. It is your opportunity to be a part of something greater than yourself. And that is something that is innately within all of our souls, which is why we're in this world, to be of service to each other. Can I get an amen? That's the bell of purpose, y'all. When you hear it ring, it means that there's something really great going on, some content that you might want to take home with you. So when you hear the bell, get involved. Put your comments, your questions, your insights into the comments, won't you please? Thank you. And at this time, welcome to the show as always. my version of Ed McMahon. This is my sidekick, my everything, my best gal, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. And again, we're just drinking today on the boring breakfast blend. Breakfast blend. What does that mean? Breakfast blend. What makes it a breakfast blend? Are there eggs, bacon, sausage? What's in there? Okay, anybody know? Why did they call it breakfast blend and didn't give it a name that I can smell so that I can feel like I'm eating something sweet, like cinnamon roll, cinnamon bun, anything sweet, glazed donut? Take your pick. I'm just saying. It's not like it actually tastes like it. Help me out here. So also, I am looking for an alternative to coffee. Any ideas? Now, I know when I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist world, there's a drink they have called Postum. And it's good. I remember my grandma used to make it all the time, but I need something that's going to psych my mind out and make me think I'm drinking coffee, right? Because I don't want that spike thing anymore. Help me out. If you know anything, have any suggestions, drop them in the comments. So anyway, we're here. Before we get the Oracle in here, because I know she's probably levitating or something right now, getting ready for us. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, for real and not for play. I want to remind you guys of a couple things. This Friday, April 2nd, busy day for me. Just busy. It is, though, World Autism Awareness Day, right? And I have so many friends and even some family members who are on the autistic spectrum. Most of us know someone. And we want to support. We want to have that conversation, which helps people understand what autism is really all about. And those people who consider it their superpower, their gifts. And so take a look at what we have coming up this coming Friday, April 2nd, for World Autism Awareness Day, starting at 4 p.m. Central all the way to 5:30, a 90-minute TV special with 5 panelists, all who are doing great things, big things, wonderful things in the world. And they're all doing it from the gifted place of being autistic. So take a look. And there it is, World Autism Awareness Day this Friday, April 2nd. And our special begins again at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, all the way to 5:30. You can watch the special right here on the Bathrobe Moments page, all of my platform pages, as well as simply downloading the E360 television app. See you there, right? Bring a friend. The Oracle's in the house. I love it. I'm ready to be inspired, to get some answers. If you have anything that you want to talk to her about, matcha. What's matcha? Okay, the Oracle sent me a message. Matcha. Am I supposed to know what that means? Oh, that's what she's drinking in her cup. Okay, we're gonna talk about that too. But do you know what? You know what we do, you guys, in true bathrobe moment fashion. Put your hearts into it. Put some love and light into it. Put your hearts on the screen as we welcome to the stage DOMINIQUE RIVERA, the Oracle of Apollo. Howdy ho.
Hola, hola, buenos dias, everybody. Thank you for having me here on Bathrobe Moments. Always a pleasure.
Yes. I want to come hang out in that
in my studio?
That she cave you've got. Yes, that looks like the place I could just curl up over there on that couch, or I think that's a couch.
It's actually a medical table because I take clients here.
Oh,
It's just a
Okay.
very, very ultra comfortable medical table.
Yeah. So I'm loving this tiara thing.
My mother-in-law made me this tiara, so I'm rocking. It's her first crown she's ever made, and I felt very special. And she mailed it to me from Florida. I thought it was super cute, so I'm rocking the homemade crown today. I like it. It's very adorable.
I do too. So we saw you just last week on our monthly Ask the Experts show, and it was just a little taste, but you know, we love to get you in here at least. We try to get you here once a month, but you know, you're in such demand with your show. Tell everybody about your television show.
So I have a show here on E360 TV. It's called Divine Encounters. And we have a Wednesday night segment and a Sunday night segment. And Wednesday nights, we have a supernatural story time where we invite different guests who have had supernatural experiences. And this can be inspirational stories, your stories of awakening, the moment you've received messages, or just anything that you feel like was beyond your control from supernatural forces. And we talk about that Wednesday nights. And on Sundays, I bring all of your horoscopes. But what both shows have in common is that it's an opportunity to be present fully and to participate fully, because we have something called the good news, which is an awareness exercise, an energy clearing, and an intuition building game. That way you can build your intuition. So when you're in your day-to-day life, you can realize, oh, wait, I know this feeling of correctness and I know how to apply it now, which makes a lot of things less complicated. So it's a whole building platform.
I missed a lot of that because I was receiving a message from Elvis, and he's, what is it? What are you saying? Speak up, Elvis. Oh, he's doing a number. He's going to get back with me. I wish. I kind of wish I could speak to spirits. I don't know if I can wish that as a gift or anything like that. But tell us how people come to discovering their supernatural gifts or superpowers. What are some of the signs or red flags that you might possess something that most people don't?
Okay, so for communication, everyone is psychic inherently because we have this intuition, this gut instinct. It's just built in naturally, but suppressed because we're not being chased by lions anymore. So, you know, it's like really no need to have all of these extra sensory things.
But you haven't seen my husband on a Saturday night. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, that's too good. But really it rises out of the need. The mother of invention is necessity, right? So it tends to come about when someone has reached a rock bottom of some kind. We call this maybe the dark night of the soul or a tower moment in their life. And this tends to look like your friends leaving, your husband or wife leaving, you're leaving your job, you're leaving your house, but they kind of stack. Like everything happens at one time when you feel like, why are all of these things being changed in my life at that same time? That's usually an indicator that something's about to unfold for you, not happen to you, but unfold inside of you. And for me, that winded up looking like audible. I started to hear audibly. But for a lot of other people, it can be repetitive numbers. It can be symbols such as feathers or too many, what we call, I'm using the air quotes, coincidences, happenstance. And it's really just alignment happening. With Lauren, you're saying that you wish you could talk to spirit, but you and I have done some classes where you have talked to angels.
This is true.
So it's really the same technique, except maybe just tweaked to a different channel. And that's really all it is. So it is a skill to learn. Anyone can learn it. You just have to be open and willing and take some training. That's it.
Okay. I got another question before we get deep down into this today.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm just going from what happens here in our lives, my husband Brian and I. When he had a first cousin, his bestie, they were like brother and sister. And she took her life a week after we met. Matter of fact, he canceled our second date because of that. And I remember sitting there going, now, you know, he really, if he wanted to get out of the date, he didn't have to go that far.
Right. The emergency excuse.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But no, it had actually happened. And then things started happening, you know, like the computer came on its own. at her mother's house where it happened, things like this. We will see things and think, you know, like we'll see a butterfly, the same kind of butterfly every time of the year, you know, the same time every year. There's a thing that happens in our house here. We think it's Burton, who used to live here. He passed away in this house. He was the only other owner other than us. And right around the holidays. And we went last year and through his wife, who passed more recently than Burton, we went to her obituary to get to his obituary to find out when he died. And it was during the holiday season. Because our cats are always hanging out in the basement during that time, and they'll be running around down there like they're playing with somebody, and just funny things will happen. I mean, nothing scary, but just things where you go, you know, like the iPod, not the iPod. Yeah, what's that thing that Brian keeps his music on? Will just start ringing like a telephone. You know, like, right, it's sitting right there on the table. And we're like, what is that? Things like that. The TV and all the sound system turning on and off while we're sitting there, stuff like that. When people experience those things, they go, what in the world? Is that just, I mean, how do you process? I mean, because you don't want to miss an opportunity. So how do you know that it is something trying to reach you, to speak to you possibly, or could it just be some crazy electronic stuff?
Okay, so I have a really good story for this, actually from yesterday. So my life partner, Doug, he works for police towing. So he tows evidence. Okay, he's not the guy that brings you the ticket. If you've died in your car, he'll be the one to pick your car up. That's just his job.
Okay.
So him and a cop, well, he wasn't there, but at this particular scene, but there was a cop at a scene, and he was talking to a woman. And this old lady was in this big, old, creepy house, and he had been called because there had been some noises or something. And he's talking to her. He's about to leave because everything checks out. And she tells him, officer, I'm the one that tripped my own alarm in my house, but thank you for coming. Everything is fine. And he goes, oh, well, he looks up, and at the balcony, he sees two kids looking down, staring at him intently. And he says, you have great grandchildren. And she goes, grandchildren? He goes, yeah, you have great grandchildren. He points to the balcony. And she goes, oh, you see them too? And he goes, she's like, they're not my grandchildren. And he has like a puzzled look on his face. Like, what do you mean I see them too? They're right. And there was no one there. And she goes, in 1950, this house burned, and the mother and the two kids died in the house. He was seeing the ghosts of the kids that were in the house. And when he had looked back, they were both vanished. And she explained that to him, and he instantaneously, he parked 3 blocks away and called for backup because he was freaking out. They went and
get over here. I need help with these two ghosts.
He didn't know what to do. So someone else came through who had also apparently been to this house and, you know, said, no, yeah, that's what's happening there. But the difference between the just random electronics happening and malfunctioning, someone trying to get your attention, I'll give you an example. I was back here the other day, and I have a lot of lights back here. I have 3 salt lamps, some sparkly lights. They all started flickering. And I'm like, oh, okay, I wonder if it's the plug, because they were all flickering. So I left and I went to my mom's house. And as I sit in her dining room, her lights started flickering. And I was just like, oh, okay. It didn't register. Then I came back home and I turned the candle on. And this candle wick went from like this to like this. It was like 4 inches tall. And my partner, Doug, was there, and he was like, whoa, do you see that candle? And I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Someone's trying to message me because, you know, they don't have phones, so it's a different kind of messenger. And that was all the flickering. So yes, you're going to see a pattern that repeats itself. Like for you, it's Christmas time. And that's because that energy field of whoever that person that is crossed must have a connection to the house and revisits during the holidays. Right. So that's how you know it's the pattern. You know, it's just like any detective or any scientist. You're going to see the pattern. And once you start seeing it, then you can kind of like put it together.
Let me ask you something else real quick, and then we're going to let you run with it. I know there's a lot of comments and questions for you. There always is. And I know in most cases when you're here, you have a message for one or more people. So we don't want to miss that today either. So you guys get your questions and comments ready for the Oracle. We'll hit those in just a moment. I had one other question, though. When I went to a retreat a few months ago to Salt Lake City with a group of 11 other people, we had all been recruited to be a part of this new movement called FYP, Fulfill Your Purpose, Fulfill Your Passion. And they chose us, and they flew to every person's town and house and met you before they brought you out.
Wow.
Now, I only knew one of the people when I got there, Danny Torres, but we were around one of those propane fire pits. And when these people were speaking, I tell you, some of you remember when I came back, I was like, and still am. I felt like I was in, it really literally felt like I was I was involved in a Marvel Comics reunion. Like they were all super heroes, and I was the new person written into the show or something, because I felt like they'd gathered before or something. And I just said it out loud. I was like, y'all, I'm tripping, because I've seen all kinds of stuff. I'm not kidding. Glitching, and could swear I saw a person through layers of a person. Like they changed, like I maybe knew them in another life, all kinds of stuff that never happened. And when they were talking, they were going around the circle, and someone pointed out, watch the fire. And every time whomever was speaking, the flames would point in that direction. I'm not kidding. What is something like that? Because I saw it happen. I was scared to talk because I didn't want it to point in my direction. I was like, because I did, sometimes we're afraid of what we don't understand. Talk about that if you could.
So it's interesting about being afraid about the things we don't understand, because I actually prepped a talk about Pandora's box today, about hope and the things that we don't understand and curiosity. But let's talk about this first. So elements of fire is what we're talking about here. The elements that have been brought through the Promethean flame, which is the perfect segue into this story. So we have all these elements, the 4 elements: water, air, earth, fire, right? And these existed before us, ideally. And so when we have spirit come in, which is, again, before us, it can use these elements to create stories, to create visions. It can use these elements to assist us in telling a story, as well as giving messages. So what you were seeing visually was spirit energy in the fire. And that could be agreeing with the person that's speaking, or even elevating the passion, because fire is transmutative, which means that's just a fancy word to say that it burns the old and the new can be rebuilt. So it's an upgrading word. And so while it's burning through the kindle that you guys placed there, it was essentially burning away the old and rebuilding, allowing new passion to be restored and fueling you. So fire is a very powerful element, especially if it was a main sign for you that night. And you talked about this glitching too, right?
Yeah.
This, when you saw these people through people, that's called that's called soul gazing. And I usually do a class on that. Is a thing. I usually do a class on this for Valentine's Day because it's very intimate. And essentially what soul gazing is the ability to see someone's past life soul, their soul pattern. We reincarnate into this life with all of these personalities from our past lives kind of come in with us. And so we can actually observe them with our physical eyes if we sit still and allow it to happen. But for you, because you were in your awakening that day, and there was all of this energy coming in. Right. And I remember we had an emergency meeting with an angel right before you went to unlock some things. And then boom, 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 boom. And all these channels just opened up for you.
Yes.
So it's accumulation. It was definitely accumulation.
It was. And you're absolutely right, because prior to the fire thing and the glitching with Alan, I had, every time I passed him, because we all arrived that day at different times, but every time I would pass him, and I just met him, I would say, are you sure we've never met? I feel like I know you. And he kept saying to me, oh, you'll remember. And I know this is going to freak a lot of people out, maybe not. But before I left there, I actually went up to him and I said, I do remember now. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I believe we were really close friends, or even deeper, related or something, like 700 years ago. I don't know where that number came from, but it's what I felt. And he just kept shaking his head, and then he hugged me, and that was just one of the many things that happened that week. So I
feel so much love. I felt like an intense amount of love flowing through as you spoke about that. So I know that connection must have been so deep inside in your knowing, in your inner knowing, because I could feel it echoing as you're describing the story.
Yeah.
And that familiarity is because that is the testament of your soul, which is so ancient, and we're all in a different stages of development. And recognizing the soul cluster, the soul buddy coming back to the now. So we imprint, we incarnate with the knowing that at this juncture in my life, I'm going to have this person, this person, this person come back in to elevate and assist me and really hone in the learning from Earth School that I need to take in at that moment in my development. And that's what you did. You scripted him into your life to come in to open your eyes. So that way you can have him as a branch, so to speak, in your growth.
Awesome. And it has been, we're very close. We were actually pulled each other's names at Christmas for our Secret Santa. And you know, just an incredible thing. Let me ask you before I turn the stage over to you completely. What about, can you touch a little bit on, I want to start learning more about connecting with ancestral messages and that pouring into that they have the capability to do. I know a little, but I want to know more. So can you touch on that really quickly?
Yes, I'm actually giving a talk on this topic, Healing with Your Ancestors, April 11th at the circleofmiracles.com, circleofmiracles.com. If you're interested in this, it's going to be a work through. So we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to give you an experience. I like to do left and right brain things in conjunction with one another to integrate the experience more fully. So when working with our ancestors, everybody has the ability to work with their ancestors. And you actually can't see, maybe you can. Here on my bottom shelf, I have my ancestors, but they're actually my Reiki ancestors. So they're Japanese. And I have their pictures on my shelf here to be kind of like a reminder that something greater than me is working through me, and that all of the lessons of my ancestors and all of the knowledge of my ancestors and the strength and everything they went through is the full combination of who I am today. However far they got is kind of like where they left off, where they left me off and said, okay, you take the torch, you go forward now. So everybody has the ability to connect with your ancestors, even if you don't know them, if you have no stories, if you were adopted. It can be physical, it can be blood, it can be
have a great day. I love you
just people who you've adopted into your circle, who have adopted you into their circle. And it's important to work with them. You can call on them, just ask them to work through you, to give you their strength, because each of your ancestors have special qualities. They're experts in their own things. Not one just knows all, kind of like maybe Uncle Sam is the mechanic and you need this assistance for this, or this person is the creative person and you ask for assistance for this. So giving yourself time to, first of all, thank them for their journey, because even the further go back, the more arduous time has become. Think about it as when they first settled in wherever the land was that they settled in. You know what I mean? You can do things for them like light a candle, because lighting a candle, again, we learned today, fire is transmutative. And that candle lighting, it's not woo-woo. It's really just symbolic of it representing, I'm giving you light. I'm giving you growth. I'm giving you transmutation for the purpose of me growing, because anything you heal from the past kind of trickles forward into the present and elevates you even further. So it's always important to do this.
Well, can I just butt in real quick? I want to say why I think this is so important to my journey. And I don't have anything to base this on other than a cellular feeling.
Yes.
Now, I've always known that, well, I was instructed, then I knew. It wasn't like I came up with it. I was told at the beginning of this career of mine, Lauren, you never need to sit down and come up with anything. Your content is going to come through you on its way to the world. And it's best for you to, your greatest content, your platinum content, can always be found in the life you're currently living, or that life you have most recently lived, is what I was instructed. And now I have a feeling, because my birth mother, Lucille, I knew from the minute she transitioned, because it was not even a week later that she transitioned, and predicted on her deathbed 10 minutes before she transitioned that I would be doing this. She told me, I've seen where God is taking you. And it started like a week later and has not stopped. So I know now when she is interceding on my behalf. I know when things come to me that she had her hand in. I just know. I innately know. I find myself just thanking her out loud. Now, what I want to know is, she is the most recent person in my life that I have that connection with, that is transitioned. Starting there and acknowledging there, I have a feeling that will open the door, roll out a red carpet to lead me further back to other ancestors. Is that possible?
It's all relative, because it's the same network. Your heart link, your love, your connection, your DNA, everything is the same network, different channels. So as you go and learn different things in your life, and you're fine tuning yourself, the channel changes, so different guides may come in. We don't keep the same guides forever. We have different guides at different junctures in our life because they have different knowledge.
And last little tidbit, and then I'm going to just turn it over for real this time, is maybe you can explain a little bit to me about why I have this feeling that the reason it's so, because I feel a sense of urgency to begin this process. And I'm being told that it is because each one of our ancestors has poured something into the next.
Yes.
And so they know more about the entire process. They can see what they poured in working in my life. They can see what the next ancestor did, on and on and on, leading all the way. Almost like when they show you Neanderthals. You know, that little thing where you start here and the monkeys, and they get bigger. They say, this is how we evolved. It's kind of like a line in my mind. I see a lineup of different ancestors that each passed a certain thing forward that all landed here.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly it. They all have different expertise, and their culmination of their life's work trickles downward to you. But that also you inherit because of that, their problems. You inherit because of that DNA karmic imprints, diseases or poverty, or just you inherit everything. So this is why it's important to heal backwards. So like if you have something in your family that's reoccurring and it's just kind of like a mystery, this is always in our family. We just can't figure out why my whole family has diabetes, why we can't get out of the chains of poverty. There's something in the past that has to be cleared and welcomed new energy into, so that way it can trickle down and shift in this current now moment.
And that's so true, because I work with a lot of people who some of their speaking points are the breaking of generational curses.
Right.
They know that it is their calling, that it has fallen upon them to stop this in this once and for all.
Yes.
And so that's really important, because that's a huge responsibility.
It is. And I have been told by my ancestors that I would be breaking a generational curse of poverty in my line. And I believe that to be true and honest and 100%. You could never convince me of anything else. And anytime we have a money issue, I say, you know what? I'm going to be the one to break this generational curse. And I know it. And this is just a temporary moment.
Okay. We're going to go to our short break. And when we come back, the stage is all yours and all yours. So get your questions, your comments. I'm sure the Oracle has a special message for one, maybe a few, but you're going to find out when we return. We'll be back in just a moment. Please don't go away. Okay, sorry about that creepy little peep in of mine because I didn't remove myself. Oh, so anyway, listen, thank you to my sponsor for today's show, Swinging Fun by Crystal. Get over to Swinging Fun by Crystal. Swinging, not swinging. You can be country on this one. Swinging Fun by Crystal.com. She makes these wonderful swings. I know several of the viewers that watch the show have hit me up privately and let me know that they ordered them, they've gotten them, and they absolutely love them. They grow with your child as it grows. So get over and check that out. It's a veteran-owned business, a female-owned business. So that is a minority-owned business. Get over and support Swinging Fun by Crystal. Thank you so much for supporting Crystal. Bathrobe Moments. Back with the Oracle now. Oracle, I know you got your cards and stuff. Is it okay if I duck out and let you run with it now? And I'll pop the questions and comments up when I see that you're finished doing what you're doing.
Okay, so let's do cards and then we'll pop questions up, yes?
Okay, good.
All right, let's go. Okay, guys, let's see what's happening for April for you guys. And I want you guys to know it's April Fool's Day tomorrow. And it's interesting because April Fool's Day in the 1500s was because the New Year day had moved to January 1st instead of April 1st. And all of those people who didn't get on the bandwagon were thought of as fools because people were forgetting that the New Year was now January 1st. All right, so let's see here. We have coming up, we're in the law of attraction, baby. I love this. The number 2 energy, talking about bringing balance into your life. We are in that manifestor mode right here in springtime. Perfect time to start planting your seeds, starting to look at new ideas, new projects. Number 2 is a number of sacred union. So partnerships could be coming in for you this month and allowing you support and assistance. What we need to know, what we need to know, grow. This is the next one. We need to grow is practice moderation. So we're being told the same thing twice here with the number 2 energy, which is the number of balance. Here we see that again with practice moderation, influenced by that number 2 energy. It's important to practice everything in moderation. Working too much not working, too much binging. Allow yourself to really recognize those patterns that have become habitual in your life. Habitual meaning they have become subconscious, as opposed to ritualistic, which means I am purposefully creating this with my energy. So making sure we are in moderation. Energy is gaining momentum. Good morning, Janice. Energy is gaining momentum with waxing moon, which is very amazing. So this is saying if we practice that moderation, because we're in that manifesting mode, things are picking up like that snowball. It's falling, coming down the hill, making its way towards us. So now what do you want? Do you want a piece of ice or do you want a nice, soft, supple, compressed snowball? So you choose, but your actions and your thoughts and your intentions are going to manifest as they go along this month. We have here for the elephant energy for your animal, you gain love and wisdom that is passed from one generation to the next. And just like we were talking about that ancestors, elephant represents ancestors and family. So this is about that fortuitousness, that growth. You can ask your ancestors for that balance and moderation just by speaking it. It doesn't have to be any specific way or a rhyme or anything like that. Just ask. Ask and you will receive. And then let's see what the ancestor cards have for us. This is the only one I didn't shuffle. Trust in your higher forces. So trust in the unseen, trust in what you're not sure of. And that's okay. That's kind of like coming back to that whole thing about Pandora and that curiosity that she has. Have curiosity with your ancestors. Have curiosity in life and trust that something greater than you is assisting you. And finally, we have our angel blessings for the month. We are being blessed by Angel Caziel with abundance. Love it. And Angel Ariel blessing all of us with purpose. Awesome. These are great blessings. Make sure you claim that in the comment section below. Angels always want to work with you, but they respect your free will. So you have to invite them in. And that is all for your April checkup.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I want to throw a question to you or ask you. From Sherry McQueen. I love this question, Sherry. Thank you so much. And the rest of you, get your questions and comments in while we still have time. Sherry wants to know, do we have one angel and spirit guide that stays with us throughout our lives?
Okay, so just like a mentor, there's going to be spirit guides and angels that are with you until you learn the lesson that is presented in front of you. So, like for me, right now, my spirit guides are actually transitioning after 8 years of working with me, and I actually acquired a new spirit guide. So I learned the lesson that I needed to learn, which was working at Howl, opening my center, and healing as many people as possible while I was there. And that was through my through these ancestor guides here, Chuhiro Hayashi, Mikao Usui, and Hawayo Takata, which are my healer teachers in spirit world. And so now they're leaving me and I'm getting new ones. You do get an angel that's with you throughout your whole life, but then you also get let's call him like he's the franchise owner, but then you also get shift managers as you're going. And then you also get general managers as you're going, and they change out through time. So yes, they will change out and some will stay with you forever. But there's always a flow here. So I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm going to throw one out there. This is a little different, but can you touch on, I have nothing, I can't call it anything other than a clue or clues, like from nature, like I have a husband and wife squirrel couple that I feed every day, and, they live here on the property, Charlie and Louise. And I am not kidding you. There are certain days when I'm kind of like, same thing with Ethel and Lucy, our cats. Lucy is very, she's an empath cat. When somebody's not feeling well or something, she's coming up and butting you with her head and curling up. And she is one, she's very stuck up. She's a diva. But that's where she always shows up for us. And then with Charlie and Louise, Charlie, when I need to get something out and I'm starting to push it down and keep it in, Charlie will sit there and I can almost hear him saying, tell me about it. So I'll start talking to him about it. And the next thing you know, there's a real life human somewhere coming at me saying, you were on my mind today, or I just thought about you out of the blue. And I'm like, Charlie is there every time it's happened. It's like he pulls the trigger. He convinces me to give myself permission or give the experience permission to happen, if that makes any sense. Can things outside of us, nature, animals, whatever, give us heads up or clues to get us to do something that we otherwise might not do? Is that possible?
No, and I think we should call 302 for you right now. Someone get this man. Someone get this man. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
What's
teasing.
302?
That's when you call 911. Sorry, this is living with him. When you call 911, and if there's someone who is thought to be crazy, they 302 you. It's the code for someone who's
I'm crazy.
No, it's teasing though.
Okay.
Okay, so animals, they have something called medicine. And interestingly enough, I know I have it right here because I literally just had it a second ago. Interestingly enough, I had a book right on my desk. I'm not sure where I placed it at, but it's called Animal Medicine. And every week I bring up an animal for people in these totem cards. And that's because animals do carry messages for us. A few weeks back, there was a white rat and it was 32 degrees. There was a giant white rat about this big, and he climbed up on my porch, and he was a pet rat. You can tell because he had the red eyes and he was completely immaculate. His clothes were his fur was immaculate.
So he was dressed.
Yeah, he was dressed in his finest whites. And so I went outside and I'm like, well, actually I'm walking up to the porch and I'm like, is that a giant rat on my porch? And I was like, it's 32 degrees. This kind of rat can only live above 65 degrees and higher. And so I was like, if I don't do something about this rat's going to die. Anybody else would have been like, it's a rat, girl.
Right.
Leave it alone. But you have to understand it was snowing outside. So spirit must have had made some huge moves for this rat to have come out of wherever it was, immaculate white, to made its way onto my porch and survive in temperature 30 degrees less than it normally would have. been able to survive in. So I picked up the rat, I put it in the bin, and I called the animal control. The animal control people, he was too afraid to pick it up, so I picked him up and put him back into the container. Rat was super friendly, adorable rat. I was really tempted to keep him. But the message there was that rat is a fortuitous animal with perseverance, and it does not stop. And the lesson that week for me was you have to keep pushing forward. You have to be tenacious. You have to persevere. You cannot let anything, you have to be like the rat and just keep going and going and going. And don't allow anything to stop you. And so in that way, the rat was being empathic with me. With your cat, who's allowing you to give you these little nuggets, absolutely correct. Cats are super empathic. Cats are thought to be gatekeepers to the afterlife. They have a special power. Cats are not impressed by anybody's energy because they go, I can do that too, honey. I don't need, oh, you have energy? I can do that too.
Right.
And they'll get cocky like that because they're already aware. So yes, animals will definitely feel you and tell you things for sure.
So here, give me a 30-second answer on this one. Then we got a bunch of questions coming in. I want to get to all of them. I recently read, well, I wasn't reading, it was an Audible book. I'm lazy that way.
It still counts.
Okay, so I was reading a book and they said, and I didn't know this, that animals have souls too.
Yes.
So if animals have souls, you know, like family members and things speak to us, you know, from beyond. Can animals do that too? Can they do things and try to communicate from the afterlife?
Yeah, so I teach a class called Integrated Energy Therapy with Pets. So you can work with your pets on this. Cats, dogs, horses. I don't, but they all apply. So essentially, animals have souls because they have reincarnated. I had a dog who passed a few years ago who I was shown a vision. She was actually a human at some incarnation in her life, a soldier with me who vowed herself to be my protector and incarnated into this life as a dog so she could be with me. So animals do reincarnate. They do have soul lessons and karma that they themselves have that and they take on your karma too because they're incarnating with you. So absolutely, yes.
Okay. Question from a Facebook user on one of the other platforms. Sorry, it doesn't identify. If you want to put your name in, I'd be happy to acknowledge you that way. But this Facebook user asks, are any of our angels family members?
So I saw a mediumship show on Hulu called Angel Something, and I clicked it, and then I realized she was just a medium. Well, not just a medium, but she was a medium. And the interesting thing about this is that these two things, people say them synonymously, like if they're the same, but they're not. So angels have never incarnated into human physical existence, and they have no ego. All right. This is what makes them an angel. Us, when we transform into the next life, we call them angels because we think of heavenly helpers. And so we kind of like attach this label of angels. They don't become angels, but they do become your guides. And that heavenly helper can feel like an angel because they're blessing you from beyond physical plane.
Okay.
So, but it's okay to call them that. It's totally okay to call them your angel because it's a sentiment. It's kind of like an endearing.
An endearment, term of endearment. Got it. Okay. Marla says, I am a
No, Maria.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that Maria?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that an I?
That is an I.
Okay, I was right. Maria. Okay. Lord. That was not a senior moment, just bad eyes. I am a Reiki practitioner. And what is that? Tarot
Tarotista. Tarot cards.
Oh, my business is finally getting in a food groove.
Food groove.
I don't know what that is. Do you have any path insight for me?
Okay, let's see. Maria. Maria. It's interesting because what I am seeing for you is gut trucks. I think the civilian term for a gut truck is a lunch truck. And I'm seeing that. I feel like I'm at expos or like conventions outside. So I know pandemic is going to be moving, but I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of, what's that word called? Like outreach. I feel like there's a lot of outreach happening here. Usually when I see Reiki practitioners, it's like a room and like one thing, person at a time. There's a lot of outreach coming for you this year, especially in summertime. So be prepared for that. You're going to have a huge influx. Number 7's around this, perfection, the number of Apollo, and it could also be the 7th month of the year. But there's a huge influx coming in for you for that.
Okay. And I want to ask you also, do you believe, you know how some people say, ooh, I just, you know, and even in the Bible, it says many have entertained angels unaware. Do you believe that we can actually see? Now, you said something about angels have never manifested into human form, but then sometimes people feel
physical.
Yeah. So could I be on the street giving money to a homeless person? And then, because I've gotten that feeling before that I think that person was an angel visiting. Can they do that?
So now with that, yes, but you have to see it this way. We are human physical incarnation and they are not. So us, the human incarnation, are helping the angels fulfill the sole mission of the whole collective of the divine. All right. So they don't have the 5 senses that we have to navigate this world. So an angel can stand behind you and use a human being as a lesson or a blessing. So yes, they are right. You could just imagine someone standing, touching a shoulder of that person. You're like, are you an angel? That's because they are being influenced by that energy. So absolutely, yes.
Ah, great one. Thank you.
But they don't turn physical. Like they don't turn physical. They use physical. They work through physical just to release confusion here.
Okay. Well, it's time. We got about 6 minutes left. And so we always want to hit this point before we get out of here. So it's time for you guys. Get them ready. Type them into the comments so the Oracle can tell you all about your angel numbers. And let me tell you what I've been doing for the last month or so. I set my alarm now for 4:44 a.m. Right. So I see my angel number. I stopped waiting for me to see it everywhere, and I programmed it in because I just love it. Every time I see it and it catches me, I feel like, hey, because I know they're like everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just want to share that. So explain to someone who may not understand what angel numbers are all about. And then we're going to see if anyone types theirs in. So you can tell us what you have for that particular angel number today.
So angel numbers are a way angels communicate with you, your heavenly helpers. This can be guides, animals, actual angels, and they're patterns that you're seeing on repeat in your life. So you might notice, oh, the clock says 222. And then, oh, that address says 222. Oh, I'm on highway 222. And it drives a curiosity inside of you. There's like there's like something more to this. Those are your angel numbers.
Can you tell us a little bit about 555?
Okay.
I know that's the number that they always use on telephone numbers on TV.
It's so funny that they do that. And that has a whole story all behind itself. But 555 is a really important number because we're coming out of the number 4, which is the number of stability and cornerstones and foundations, which is great. This is why Lauren has this. It's kind of like he's calling this fundamental into his life. And the number 555 is 555. So it doesn't have to be multiples. It can be a singular number. Okay. But the angels want you to be ready to embrace change in your search for truth and authenticity. This is a number of huge, massive change and opportunity. So multiple change at the same time. You're being guided to follow your heart and your intuition more closely. So it's kind of like tap in, sit down, and listen closer for the number 555.
Okay. So 555, and that is also for you, Dr. Janice Hooker-Fortman, with the single number 5. And now we have 777s and also the single 7. So
fantastic.
What's that all
about? When we see the single digits, it's kind of like the whisper, and then the number 777 is kind of like, did you hear me? I'm talking to you. Hello, I'm knocking. So
it's like when you text somebody in all caps.
Yes. You put all the extra exclamations and emojis. It's emphasis. So 7 is my favorite number, and it's the number of Apollo. So no shock there. But 777 means major spiritual shifts are changing and happening, and they're about to take place. So it's coming. And the number 7 also is associated with empathy, sensitivity, perception, and internal analysis. This individual number 7. Awesome. It's also the number of perfection and faith. So when I see that number, it's like, okay, I gotta make sure that I'm staying in my highest of hopes inside myself.
Awesome. On the screen, everyone, right now is the best way to continue this dialogue with the Oracle of Apollo. Simply type in @Oracle of Apollo. I also encourage you to download, if you haven't already, the E360 television app so that you can catch her show twice a week, Divine Encounters. So what's your Jerry Springer thought for everybody as we move into this new month beginning tomorrow? Anything?
Okay, so it's at the Oracle of Apollo, so there is a "the" there. And letting you guys know, oracleofapollo.com is coming. I'm working on it. So thank you for that. And to me, I've had some beautiful visions this month, miraculous visions this month even, and that's a whole nother story for another time. But I've learned a lot this month about hope and how important hope is. And so what I want to say to people out there coming into this month of Easter, right, is that's the theme for a reason. So don't let doubt cloud your judgment of what is meant to be yours. Don't speak black paint into the white bucket of potential that is coming to you at this moment. So allow yourself to speak and repeat and program into yourself the hope of your purpose, the hope of your growth, and the hope of your divinity, all unwinding and unfolding for you. Call upon your ancestors, invite them in to assist you with elevating your hope and your love for not just yourself, but for the world.
One last question. That's beautiful. Thank you, Oracle. One last question. A lot of people in the world right now are straddling the fence. They're standing in the lukewarm water, if you will, wherein it pertains to the pandemic and the shots, the vaccinations.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you feel that you could shed some light on as far as anyone who may be on the fence about whether or not this is a good move for them to receive the vaccine or not? Anything?
Okay, so you come on my show, we're going to work on your intuition. And when we have these choices like this, it's going to be a snap to figure them out. What I want to say to this is, what is your reason for taking it? Is your intention or what is feeling inside of you is absolute fear, and this is why you're taking this? If this is the case, I would say no. But if you feel like, I want to remain healthy, and the mindset is I'm going to do this so that I can remain healthy, and there's no fear, but there is caution, then I would say yes.
Right. That's exactly how I came to it. And once I approached it like that, and I made the decision, I not once have gone back and said, oh, well, there was that one moment when I first walked out of the clinic after the 15-minute rest time. As soon as I stepped outside, I was like, oh, Lord Jesus, please make it so I didn't just take the mark of the beast. And then I laughed, and I knew that was silly. I knew, for me. So I agree. Everyone, again, on the screen, the correct connector at the Oracle of Apollo. And don't forget, the E360 TV app will help you get to her show, Divine Encounters, twice a week. And you don't want to miss that. Oracle, thank you. We'll see you. I think it's the
18th, maybe mid-month.
The April. I think you guys are actually back on the 15th.
Awesome.
This time, which is the third Thursday of the month.
And on the E360 TV app, I'm under the channel Fresh Takes.
Same as I. So thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Thank you for coming and pouring into us. And thank all of you for pouring into each other, as well as myself and Oracle. Just remember that our greatest gift to the world is our story. So today and every day, as you approach each person in each situation, make it a commitment, make it a covenant, if you will, with what is greater than, to leave that person or that situation just a tad bit better than the way you find it. And I guarantee you, your life is going to be abundantly filled with joy to overflowing. Thank you so much. You guys get out there. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, right back here, where my guest will be Sharon Tomello from the UK. What a story. She'll be here bright and early, 8 a.m. I'll meet you out front on the front porch for our next installment of Bathrobe Moments. Bye, Dominique. Bye, Oracle. Love everybody. See you tomorrow.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it? displaying my state of mind.